is going on? Bar Down Breakdown, the live stream edition. Holding it down with the whole crew tonight on February 28th, 2025. And we are joined by a special guest, our homie William Wallace, formerly of the Dirty Lowdown. It's bittersweet to even say that.
Yeah.
But we know William's got some new tunes in the works, and we're super excited to eventually hear some of what he's been working on. But William, man, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me here. I'm stoked to be here.
Dude, we're so pumped. Actually, when we did like a little test of this live stream kind of version of what we were going to kind of evolve Bar Down Breakdown into, we tested it out with the last Dirty Lowdown track.
Oh, shoot.
So, curious, was that filmed at Mountain Island Lake?
No, that was, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of the park. Actually, I think the park itself is, if I'm correct, I think the music video says what park it was, but it's, oh my gosh, let me, just real quick, I'm just going to look it up because otherwise it's going to bug the heck out of me.
Hey, Justin, let's talk about Orlando. Remember,
what is going on?
You ever been to Will's?
You doing a Jesse Ventura impression?
No. Hold on. First of all, the only person that does the best Jesse Ventura impression is Karrion Kross. He does a good one. He's like,
I was gonna say that guy will say so.
Oh, Will Sasso does a great impression of everybody, but no, that's just my making fun of Mikey voice. Whenever I go like this, I'm making fun of Mikey.
I thought I could look it up, but it just says filmed in Charlotte. So I actually don't remember at the top of my head the name of the park, but
look at how much Mikey's smiling right now because you just said Charlotte. All you have to do is say Charlotte, and Mikey's like, yeah.
So for everybody who doesn't know what the ongoing joke is, Tom for the last 3 episodes has been fucking chirping Mikey for having every band be from North Carolina,
every single band,
or something to do with Charlotte. So he's going to keep this going to keep
and you know
up
what sucks
kayfabe.
Is Mikey doesn't even listen to He Is Legend, and they are undoubtedly probably the best band from North Carolina.
They're so good,
band
dude.
either.
What?
He doesn't listen to Between the Buried and Me.
Oh yeah,
either.
that's right. Between the Buried and Me too. Yeah, man, you're so dumb.
Between the Buried and Me, not Prayer for Cleansing, not Undying, not
Mikey.
Alisana, at least.
Mikey's. Oh, Alisana?
Yeah, they're from Raleigh.
Yeah, they're from Raleigh, man.
Shit! Wow, they're Tragic Hero band.
Now they're Revival.
Revival, yes.
Yeah, they were on Fearless for a little bit.
They're on Fearless,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
What's the big Florida like post-hardcore band that like everybody loves?
A Day to Remember?
No, not Day to Remember. It's another one.
Non-Point?
No, I can't think of it.
Limp Bizkit?
Yes, Limp Bizkit. There we go.
Wage
Perfect.
War?
Love Limp Bizkit.
Under Oath.
Under Oath?
Under Oath, yeah. No, it's really just Poison the Well. That's the only band from Florida that matters.
Let's go, man.
It really is.
This is the best answer.
I know it's
That is
true.
the only answer.
Listen, I've listened to Trembling Level like 60 times. I'm I'm so bummed that I missed the episode where we did that song.
Where we did that one?
Because I would have flipped my microphone. I just would have flipped it.
That new track is so good,
breakdown
man.
at the end. Oh my god!
It really is. It's like they never left.
And you know what? Jeff. Just like I have a man crush on him. I do. I'll admit it. I have a man crush on him. His bald head. How he looks when he gets all angry and he screams.
Yeah. I remember going to shows and seeing him with hair.
Yeah, back in the day, he used to have some hair.
He used to have hair.
Yeah, but now, no hair.
No.
By the time I found out they were a band, he already had no hair. So
yeah, exactly. But we wasted 5 minutes of your time talking about Jeff from Poison the Well and the lack of hair that he has. So let's just dive right in. What's the first song we're doing?
It's yours, brother. It's
Oh, it's
Runaway.
me.
Runaway,
Oh,
brother.
Runaway
Tom's first.
Brother. Okay, so let me tell you guys a little bit about Runaway Brother, right? So I had to pull it up because I don't remember exactly when it came out.
3 hours later.
but the record that got me into them is this record called Mother, right? And it's just absolutely so good. I think it came out in like I want to say the early 2010s. Just like, great keyboard stuff, great just like indie rocks, kind of towing the line of emo, a little bit of punkiness. They've changed over time though. Like the record that came after Mother was a little bit more indie, had a little bit more depth. It was a little louder. So I'm kind of really interested to hear what this single's all about. And I'm glad that we get to listen to it today because they just dropped their record today and I'm really excited to hear it. So, we're going to blast through this single and then then I'm going to listen to the whole record when I get a chance, but very excited about this one. Also excited because, Mikey had confided in me that he's never heard of Runaway Brother. So what I'm going to do is hopefully he likes it. And if he likes it, I'm going to make him listen to Mother, which is just a fantastic record. But hell yeah, man. Let's just blaze through it and do it.
Now, while
I can't
I'm
wait.
firing this up, where are they from?
I don't know, actually. I want to say maybe. Okay. No, I looked it up. They're from Ohio, Cleveland.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cleveland. So obviously they love LeBron James, and now they don't love LeBron James, and then they loved him again, and then they didn't love him again.
And they write a lot of sad songs because of the Browns.
Yeah, yeah, you sure
See,
do.
now it all makes sense. Now I know what I'm getting into.
Right, and maybe they're Blue Jackets fans. Who knows?
Maybe. Columbus is still a little bit of a drive, but we'll go for it.
But it's in Ohio.
And
Yeah.
we do got a music video, so we
Hell
got something
yeah,
to look at.
That's good stuff.
I will
Alright.
say some of these songs don't have music videos tonight, so get ready for nothing.
Right.
Just staring at us. But the track is Bear the Bird.
Bear the Bird. Let's do it.
All right.
But a star above you.
That's just a head.
The bad green screen kills me. I love this already.
A little bit of slide guitar we're doing.
Everybody knows something that you don't. But a star above you. There are many senses that we bear.
Do you think they're wearing green
That
suits?
rattle,
Yes.
Yeah, they gotta be.
that tears. Inside they are
It's just the Nat Geo behind me.
Great harmonies right now, man. Excellent.
All right. Let's pause it right here and just
Man.
let's break this down a little bit because this has got so much going on already.
Yeah. How good was that? I mean, as a first minute of a song, that's just like that's dynamite. I love that little slide guitar lead. I love the little harmonies they do. Oof.
I so far, my favorite part is the harmonies. You guys know I'm a sucker for dual vocalists, and I was not expecting that going in, and I'm digging how unique both of their voices are.
Yes.
But the video, like chef's kiss.
A green
Because
screen video is always great.
once again, like bands, pay attention because this is probably something that was pretty cost effective, right? Pretty cheap, you would imagine.
Yeah.
But it's something visual that they can clip and post on social media, post on TikTok, and it's just so important. And unfortunately, some bands I think kind of rush a release and they just want to get it out there, and they'll just have like a still art or something when it's like there's creative ways that don't have to cost tens of thousands of dollars to make music videos.
Right.
And I know music videos aren't what they used to be.
Yeah.
But this is like still getting my attention, and then also has a killer, obviously track to it.
Yeah, killer vibe for sure.
Yeah.
$150, get a green screen, some green suits, and you're good to go.
You good?
Make those drumsticks float.
Yeah, man. Ooh, we got a little pretty part.
Terrifies me, feeling buckets to stop the sinking.
Trevor kills
One
me.
who observed it, saw the bones in
Skeleton.
the closet that pops that don't know. Give me your reason, that good to go. Gas it up, fire it up, so that it's faster.
Winning with mustaches.
Away from the problem. Inside there are inside I. Inside there are inside. Inside there are inside.
The floating hands.
Inside there are
I love that.
The editing on this video is so good too. Just like you know exactly when to switch it.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
a big fan of that tone.
Yeah. We're getting some more of that slide lead, baby. Let's do it. Oh yeah, let's get off key a little bit, you know?
What's that like wooden xylophone?
Like a marimba.
I hear something like
Marimba.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
That sound of the tape getting ripped out.
Yes.
That was a nice touch.
That was a nice touch. It sure was.
I thought it was me for a second.
You got Howling at the Moon.
Just love a tambourine, you know? Oh, Runaway Brother, you do not disappoint. Whew.
That was
Um,
really good.
Great song, man. Kind of what I was expecting after their last record, which I forget the name of, but I could pull it right up. New Pocket is what it was called. Kind of in the vein of what New Pocket was, you know, a little bit more, a little bit less like emo, a little bit more kind of indie rock.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with bands like Maxiel, for instance, it's kind of like the direction Maxiel went. You know, they used to be kind of more of like a twinkly emo band, and now they're a little bit more of like an indie band. You know, really, really cool. If you were into like Alex G and stuff like that, like you'd probably dig it. Even a little bit of Alt J. You know, it's just kind of got that like cool kind of indie vibe where like the guitars aren't super distorted; they're just dirty. You know, and again, just, you know, those slide guitar leads were just so great to listen to. All the harmonies were awesome. You know, how dynamic the song was great. I mean, you're talking, you know, you've got your peaks and your troughs. I mean, you've got that slow part that came in the middle. The chorus was awesome. You know, and just love those high harmonies that the other guitar player was doing. Just great stuff. And the mix was dynamite. You know, for a song like that, you know, it wasn't super bass heavy. You know, the guitars came through pretty cleanly.
It wasn't overproduced.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that music video, it just, you know, the simplest thing, but I mean, like they, you know, the images they used that played off the lyrics, were just great. You know, I mean, like
Mhm.
they had a line about bones, and all of a sudden, just pop, here's a skull. You know, so it's just like you're doing the right thing for sure. So I can't wait to listen to the rest of the record. I'm sure it's a banger.
You ever go to like a bar at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday and they just have that weird channel that just plays over and over again of like people wiping out on skateboards and like just,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that's what it reminded me it was going on in the background and like with the green screen. It's
I
just
was
that
gonna. I
channel.
was gonna. We used to have a bar here in Orlando called Barbecue Bar. Rest in peace. But they used to have like the old projection TVs, and they would like mount them up in the corners, and they would just be playing videos just like that, just random things. Like one night they just did like the Four Non-Blondes remix of the He-Man of like What's Going On. They just played that
Right.
the entire night, just
I
like
love that.
on repeat until like 3 a.m.
Justin, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of corn
Over at
cob,
work?
corn cob TV.
Oh, I waited years to get a hit on Corn Cob TV. Literally, same concept.
Bodies falling out of caskets.
That's what Mikey's watching at those bars at 3 p.m. It's just coffin flop.
God, you know the funny thing is Mikey used to go to bars at 3 p.m. You know,
Have it in
Now
like
he's-
15 years.
now he's just the most sober guy. He just drinks almond milk and eats plant-based fucking seitan. Good for you. man.
Technically, I was at a bar with Mikey at 1 p.m. for a Islanders game.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. William, what'd you think of the song, man?
Man, I thought that was so cool. I've never heard of these guys before. In fact, I honestly, looking at this whole list, I think Mayday Parade are the only band that I know on this
Oh
list.
yeah.
So
Okay.
this is going to be really exciting going through this list to see who all these guys
Yeah.
are.
See, that's the coolest thing about us doing this is like
Yeah,
sometimes like even we like one of us will know about a band like what is it 180 is it 180 by Summer, is that how you would say
Yeah.
it? Right,
Like the
never
Tuesday
heard of
Back
them
Sunday
before
song.
never heard of them before, but really looking forward to hearing it. So I'm sorry I cut you off, William. What was your take?
I was just kind of taking in just all like the stuff sonically, just the textures.
Yeah,
Was like, I was a really big fan of the tone of the guitar. I like the fact that, you guys have said it earlier, how it's got distortion, but it's not overbearing. I like the fact that it's more about the breakup
Right.
in the guitar, and that's kind of like what the distortion is.
Sure.
I also like the fact that the song itself is so laid back in terms of like,
Yeah.
like it's not super in your face, but the visuals are there was so much variety, from claymation to 3D to old movie footage to
Super
news
cool.
footage to anime. Like, I thought that was so interesting,
Yeah.
and it kind of played into. It seems like they seem like a band that like is serious about their art, but don't take themselves seriously, and know how to have fun, which is so cool, because like that's the way you should be in a band. You take all your stuff seriously, but don't take yourself seriously.
Absolutely, man.
It was just fun. That was a really fun listen.
Yeah.
Who was that band from like maybe 15, 20 years ago that had a bunch of music videos kind of in the same vibe that went like mainstream viral? More of the video itself, not
Okay,
necessarily.
Go?
Yes, that's kind of
With
what
the
I was
treadmills,
getting.
yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
They had-
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They had a ton of those too, because they had that one where it was like an hour video, and they sped it up to the length of the song,
Right. Yeah.
and it was just like one continuous shot. Like, they were known for
I love
for
it.
doing videos like that. So
Sure. One last thing before we move on, just because it clicked with me, there's this band on Pure Noise called Elder Brother.
Okay.
Their last record totally gives me these kind of vibes, like just laid back, very kind of subdued. Nothing too crazy, but just like a great songwriting. So shout out Elder Brother. They're good too. But hell yeah, man, that was a good track. What do we got next?
A band called Swimming, which makes it super hard to find on YouTube because it's like
You get a whole
Obviously,
bunch of swimming videos.
Right,
whole
so-
bunch of swimming videos,
so-
and then
so the
swimming reports. It's like, all right, don't go swimming past the red flag. And
So the reason I picked this swimming record, this swimming song, I should say, is because they've been getting. I haven't actually even listened to swimming at all, so I don't really know what I'm getting into. But there's been so much hype about them and their new record on Reddit on r/emo, which me and Justin have talked about before, which is just people yelling about someone's like, is My Chemical Romance emo? And then 900 people are like, Seisha is emo. Rites of Spring, you idiot. And then finally, like, I roll in and I'm just like, emo could be whatever you want to be, you fucking losers. And then I get 900 upvotes and I feel like a superstar. So it's great. I love
But
it.
it doesn't count the 901 downvotes that you got. So you take
Right,
at -1.
exactly. Yeah, 1,800 people, yeah, and I got 900 upvotes and 900 downvotes. So I'm just sitting at a 0. But
Can I just say,
Consistent
like,
-1.
I think it's so funny just how I feel like we're still in this weird like space where we still have like genre wars. I feel like in real life no one cares anymore, which is like the way it should be. But
I mean, like
people are still so like uppity about it. It's really weird.
insane.
It's
is
like
just,
if you just
you know-
vibe with something and like that's all that matters.
dude, it's just like people are so like people gatekeep this music like crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're a professional wrestling fan, it's the same thing. It's just like
Oh yeah.
it's like people don't think that you can like WWE and AEW. Like you just can't do it. You have to like one or the other, and then you just have to bash everything that isn't. And I feel like that's like what these discussions about emo are always about. It's like somebody who doesn't know the etymology and the history of emo is going to be like, oh, Panic at the Disco, wrote an emo record, and it's like, yeah, sure. Right. Yeah. Okay. Panic at the Disco. You could call them emo. I mean, right. Emo is short for emotional hardcore, and emotional hardcore, was, came around in the 80s, and it was
The copy pasta
and Discord. And yeah, that's fine. But like emo is evolving. Right.
Yep.
And emo can be whatever you want it to be, because in my mind, emo just means emotional.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's emotional. Fall Out Boy wrote some emotional shit. Are they a pop punk band? Yeah. But, if you sat there and said, hey, Fall Out Boy is an emo band, I wouldn't, look at you and be like, oh, you shit person, like,
Yeah.
I would just be like, okay, right.
I mean, it's kind of like, I feel like emo in a sense has kind of taken on some of the, I guess, like some of the associations that like the word punk has gotten,
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like, because if you go to any like forum, everybody's like, well, technically punk's not a thing anymore, yada yada yada, like all the good punk's gone or whatever. But it's like
Mhm.
you have rappers, they'll do something and it's like, oh, that's punk rock, whatever they did. Like
Right.
it's more of like, I feel like it's more of a mindset and more of just what you want it to be.
Right.
And that's really the only thing that matters. And emo, like, I mean, yeah, because like when I was a teenager in high school, I was one of those like genre elitists.
so was
where
I.
was like,
Absolutely.
because like, I mean, I still get that way sometimes. Like if I look in Spotify and it'd be like, oh, like it curates pop punk, and I look through and it's like, why is Kublai Khan sitting in this? That's not even remotely pop punk, Like I still get a little elitist about that. But like when it comes to genres, man, like I feel like people just get so weird about it, and I'm like, I feel like we've moved past this, especially for punk like labels like emo. Like it's
Right.
it's just it's kind of an ethos,
Agreed. I couldn't agree with you more. And you bringing up, KKTX, man. We're gonna do at some point a full episode of just Kublai Khan songs.
Hell yeah.
It's really just gonna be like an hour of the first song on the new record where he just yells Khan is king. And
Yep.
then I like want to drop kick like a bunch of kids through like a window. So that's kind of like
Hit a
that's
new
what it's
deadlift
about.
PR.
Oh god.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. But
Look, it's all fun and games until you call Knocked Loose metalcore.
right.
You know what's so funny about that is that apparently like Knocked Loose used to call themselves metalcore.
Right.
They are metalcore.
So well, and that's the thing too. Like metalcore and like in also deathcore. I feel like, I mean, like, not to go on a tangent, but I feel like those genres have kind of like become their own thing. But originally, it was marrying the elements of either death metal and metal and thrash with hardcore.
Yep.
And so, like, when you look at there's plenty of bands that I like that somebody might say, because like someone might look at a band and then be like, oh, they're metalcore or they're hardcore or they're metallic hardcore, right? And it's like they take elements from everything, so they kind of like fit in this weird like they don't fit in a certain spot. They kind of like toe that line, and that's what makes it fun. Like like those older metalcore bands are what got me into hardcore. Because when I was younger, I was like, oh, like they're not doing full screams, like I don't like it or whatever. But like, like it's like that whole arguments and people call Kublai Khan, like some people call them metalcore, some people call them hardcore, and like at this point, like unless it's someone like Pain of Truth or something, like it's so ambiguous of like if they're metalcore or hardcore, in my opinion, because like those two styles, I mean, are kind of married together at this point.
Yeah, I agree. But so this snowing track we're gonna listen to is nothing like Kublai Khan. So get ready to sit back, and I kind of have a feeling of what we're gonna get, but I don't know exactly. But I'm excited to listen. So
it's Japanese Breakfast Club.
Oh God,
2.0.
If it's Japanese breakfast, Mikey's gonna just quit the podcast. So, well, let's do it, man. This is off of the record. Old, I think is what it's called, right? And what's the name of the track that we're doing today?
Reports.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Let's do it, man. Let's go for it. Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
They sound like they would be touring with You Blew It.
Yeah.
Touring with who did you say?
When You Blew It, like they would be touring.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. So just get off it. Can't keep picking up.
Again, love a tambourine, man.
You don't know it like I do. Yeah, you don't know it like I do. So we keep holding on. We're here too often. Keep on burning out, but I don't feel like stopping. You don't know it like I do. Yeah, you don't know it like I do. So let it be. It doesn't seem like it was meant for me, but after battle, two tires gone. Waiting us off that we've got it all wrong.
Always love that texture of like someone singing and then someone kind of singing an octave under it. Like love that. I just love that texture.
This adds like an extra presence to things.
It does, yeah.
It's broken and we're out of funds. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. So just get it off and can't keep picking up the nail in the coffin. You don't know it like I do. Yeah, you don't know it like I do. So we keep holding on. We're here too often. Keep on burning out, but I don't feel like stopping. You don't know it like I do. Yeah, you don't know it like I do.
That little bit of that voice break before
Drum
the
break.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, I like that.
Hell yeah.
That would have tricked everyone. in the audience, they would have started clapping.
Hey.
It reminded me a lot of like old like Joyce Maynor.
Yeah, man. Like, so I get that vibe. It's very much like Midwest emo, you know, like it's very much like not as polished as like frame and canvas braid, but like kind of unpolished like Age of Octane braid, you know, like loud, fuzzy, a little muddy. You know, like the vocals are just like kind of barely peeking out above the guitars. But that little part where they were just like hammering on that one chord after the drum break, I could just imagine the band just going wild and just getting like loud and just fucking, you know, so much feedback, and then just pop silence, and then bang right back in. Like you got to love that. That's just songwriting 101. It's like, you know, you pull the people in. What did what's his name say? Fucking Chaz Michaels gets the people going, you know, like
who the fuck is Chad Michaels? Is that the dude
Chad
from
Michael
One Tree
Michaels.
Hill?
That's the guy from fucking Blades of Glory.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
The
most obscure Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, dude, that movie's so good. That movie's so good. But anyways, great song. Can't wait to listen to the rest of that record. But yeah, loving the
dude.
Loving
for some
the
reason, I was thinking like it sounded like if the Beach Boys were putting out music in 2025.
You know what? I can totally see that.
Okay. Interesting.
Like it sounds like what would be like the natural evolution of that band if they were like college aged or something in like today's day and age.
Or it sounds like the intro to the sitcom of like the Partridge Family if it was filmed now.
Yeah, right. Like to me it kind of reminds me of like it gives me like there's a lot of music I listen to that like when I try to invoke what feeling it gives me, I can only invoke it based off of like settings or memories. And to me it kind of reminds me of like getting out of class in a fall college semester and about to go hang out with some friends or something. Like and I feel like to me like they kind of reminded me a little bit of like old Moose Blood.
All right.
It kind of had that kind of sound with it where it's a little, I mean, it's a little imperfect. It's a little like, you know, just like hitting your guitar as hard as possible, but not being crazy. And I mean, that fake out was so cool. That was really fun.
Right. So
like,
cool.
I can only imagine like the hype that would create in a room full of people who are having a good time, who have no idea that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, like I just love, you know, like honestly, listen, like if I listen back to it, maybe there were like 5 chords in that whole song.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the beauty about, you know, music like this. Like it doesn't have to be musically complex to be really good. You know, it's like it reminds me of like a band like the Gin Blossoms or even like the Goo Goo Dolls. The Goo Goo Dolls. I mean, the Goo Goo Dolls is weird to say because you know, what's his name? Johnny Resnick, is that his name, right?
Yeah.
The lead singer and like guitarist. Like, I mean, he plays in every, like he's got 18 guitars and 18 different tunings.
And every fucking tuning possible.
Right, exactly. But, you know, like their songs are pretty simple. They're just, you know, a couple of chords, and what makes them great is how they were arranged, the songwriting, you know, and, you know, again, you know, we talk about the, you know, I talked about it during the song, but I just absolutely love like when you've got, you know, a vocalist singing, you know, in their higher register, and then someone is echoing it in the lower register. It just like has this texture that just sounds really, really cool. And you can also hear too, like obviously in the studio, they doubled vocals. And I always love when like a band who isn't like using like all of the Pro Tools bullshit, like will double vocals, because you can kind of hear like that it's not perfect. But I love that. And that reminds me of You Blew It. Like You Blew It in Tanner, like that's a Tanner thing. Like he'll double his vocals, but they won't ever be perfect. And you can kind of hear it. And you're just like, oh, that's charming, that's endearing. You know, so but kudos, man, that was a great song. I hope the rest of the record has that vibe. You know, because that was just, you know, that's a great single to pick. You know, it's just got, you know, it's again, you know, not to use the same words that I used about the last song, but it's just very dynamic. You know, it's just like, you know, a good listen. And again, it's, you know, it's not anything super complex, but the songwriting was great. And I would definitely listen to it again. You know, I kind of I want you, Mikey, to just take like maybe 45 seconds and just expand on this Beach Boys thing, because I'm really intrigued on like how you got there.
I think it was more of like the bounciness to it. Just
Okay.
reminded me of like California and kind of that vibe. I don't know how to really explain it that much, but
No. It's cool.
and I'm not even like a Beach Boys connoisseur by any means. I probably just know the hits that everyone else knows, but it just kind of, like I said, it doesn't necessarily sound like the Beach Boys, but if the Beach Boys were playing in 2025,
right,
that's probably what they would sound like.
Hell yeah. All right.
I got a good question for you guys. Tom might know it, but I don't want Tom to answer this one. Where in North America do you think this band is from, based off of their sound?
It's got to be somewhere that like we're not suspecting.
Like Oklahoma or something weird.
Or like Connecticut.
Perfect. So I love the moniker of Midwest emo, especially when you see a Midwest emo band from the most eastern part of North America in St. John's, Canada, right in Newfoundland, baby.
Okay.
Woo,
So they are fucking out there, man, and they're making sick music, and they have to take a ferry probably to tour somewhere in Canada. So you know these guys are legit when you have to get on a fucking boat to play a show.
No, I never want to hear a
that's not on
band
your
from
island.
Florida bitch that they have to drive out of Florida.
Oh
Yo,
yeah. Oh,
isn't
we
that
have
what
to
you
drive
wanna
8
do?
hours.
Yo, real quick, I just want to let you guys know before we go on to the next song.
You're eating
Today's-
a rainbow cookie?
Dude,
Are you
today's
on
my
a Neapolitan?
cheat day. I'm having a little cheat day. I've been hanging out with this cute girl, and we went to Chinese buffet together. It was great. I picked foods that I knew wouldn't fuck up my gastroparesis, so I think we're gonna be good. And then she got me rainbow cookies, and I'm eating one right now, and it's fucking so good, so good. Just so you know.
Hopefully it wasn't from the Chinese buffet.
No, it wasn't from the Chinese buffet. I did get.
No, it's from the Golden Corral across the street.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
over there. I did get a bubble tea. I got a Thai iced tea. That shit was banging.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck is this?
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it's always cool, just like, you know, like Midwest emo, but nowhere near the Midwest. It's
Nowhere
it's always
near the
interesting, like because like those are the bands that typically like just like nail it. I think in that sound, like for example, like the other day, like I saw a band called Malevolence that to me sound like what the natural progression of Pantera would be if Pantera was formed today, where it's very southern, very grimy, kind of like hardcore metalcore type stuff, but they're from the United Kingdom. But when you listen to them, they sound like they're from like Birmingham. And it's crazy, like just like how like the sound of a band can completely like be so separate from who they are and where they're from.
With the ultimate exception being Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, because they're exactly where they're supposed to be from.
Yeah. Everything about them screams Florida.
Oh.
Part of me was hoping that you were going to say I listened to this band Malevolence, who is also a Midwest emo band, and I was going to get really excited that there was a Midwest emo band called Malevolence.
I think at one point there was like a Midwest emo band or an indie band, but they were called Unicron, and I'm like, that's like the most metal name ever because it's from Transformers, but it was like I think I was in high school when I found this because I think like. I was trying to form like a band and I was like, is Unicron taken or whatever? And it was like some indie rock band. And I'm like, that's the most like oxymoronic thing ever, which made it so badass and why it stuck with me like 15 years later.
Unicron sounds like a band that that you would play when you want to like slay a metallic dragon on your metallic horse that has a Hemi engine in it.
They
Like
would
that's like the
Yeah, they would co-headline with Sabaton for sure.
yeah, like they would be opening for fucking why can't I think of their name right now? Dragon Force.
Yeah.
Dragon Force.
They would
Guys-
be opening for Dragon Force.
Guys, this episode is going to be so long, but I'm so into it. I'm so into it. I really am.
Let's hit our third song.
And it's yours, Justin. So
Oh, which one are we doing?
we are doing Vampire Slumber Party. Holes.
Okay. I have no idea what this band sounds like. I know they're from South London. Didn't listen to any other songs. They were on my release radar. It was between them and I'm going to pull up the other band really quick that I was thinking about doing. So if you want to listen to this band, go listen to it. But it was between Vampire Slumber Party and Drop D. So
Just
it
like
was
a
either
tuning?
a guitar tuning, I guess so. So I went with Vampire Slumber Party because it reminded me of Vampire Weekend, and fucking let's hit play because I have no idea. I have no context to this song other than they're from South London.
Who gives a fuck about an Oxford comma?
All right.
We don't need that anymore.
Flip out.
Okay.
It sounds like something I would listen to in the 2000s.
Ooh, I like it.
It's almost like plus 44.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and when it picks up, it definitely sounds like it.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
All right, I got to pause real quick.
Okay.
Normally, you don't hear like British accents come through when they sing, but this is like really tasteful. I really like enjoy.
I'm sure they'd
The
appreciate
accent-
that.
I'll
The
show you a
accent
British
coming
melodic
through.
hardcore band where you can hear that accent come through.
I mean,
you're
think of that-
fucking
think of that-
watching Downton Abbey.
Think of that Moose Blood song, the first one on the record that everybody loves, where he's like, "Look at me now, I'm engaged to be married."
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's as English as you can get. It's the King's English, baby. This song is rules so far.
This is really good.
More, play more
Yeah,
of it.
it does roll.
Those drums are just going the entire time.
Yeah, they really are.
That was cool.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Did everyone have that alarm clock in their house when they were growing up? Because I
Probably.
definitely had
Yeah.
that alarm clock in my house.
Probably. Oh yeah, yeah. No, that's a good alarm clock. The So yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off of what Justin said, yeah, the poor drummer, man, he never had a chance. There wasn't one pause in that song really, but I mean, I got, I got Moose Blood vibes off of it, pretty heavy. Older Knuckle Puck vibes I got pretty heavy. Even a little bit of plus 44 when the vocalist was in that kind of lower range, but like definitely like mid 2010s emo pop punk, like totally with it. Loved the love the octaves in the beginning. That's kind of very very pop punk adjacent, and just a good song all around. Only thing I could say is like I kind of wished there was like more of an outro. I just kind of felt like the song just sort of ended, which it isn't a bad thing, but sometimes an extra little 30 seconds at the end, a little outro maybe. I mean, the best example I can give, is two weeks ago we listened to "Funny Face" by Arm's Length, and I mean, like, what an outro. They slow it down once and then they slow it down again even more. So
They halftime the halftime.
Hell yeah. So that would be my only critique about the song. But other than that, great chorus, very catchy. Love the juxtaposition between the lead guitar and the rhythm guitar. Liked the tone, a little dirty, not super polished. And where are they from? They're from
South London.
South London. Okay. Great. Yeah. I mean, hopefully, they get over to the States or something. But great track, man.
Yeah, their thing on Spotify is Fred Flintstone as a vampire.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Awesome.
I think, and I was really hoping that they were going to have like a music video for this, because when I sent the song over to Mikey, like it has a really cool like canvas where it's the clock and it's like somebody like going over it, but the clock is like slowly putting holes, like the song of the title of the track on the alarm clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like somebody in the band has to be like in animation or can draw or something, because like that whole concept is just really cool. And I almost wish that they had like a visualizer on YouTube for it. But honestly, for a blind take on a song that I had no idea who the band was, who the song was, their history, I was like incredibly impressed.
Yeah.
Like if we were playing Did They Play the Milestone, I would have definitely said yes, that band played the Milestone. Tom, you weren't even there for that whole segment that we used to do.
You would have loved that.
You would have loved it.
It was Made Up or Milestone, and I would come up with 5 bands that may have possibly played the Milestone, and you had to guess if they played it or if I made it up on the spot, like Buck Biloxi and the Fucks.
I'm
Real
positive.
band.
I'm positive that if the Never Home guys were flying a helicopter and the helicopter smashed into Mikey's house and everyone was okay, everyone survived, but like his house was demolished, he would just be like, "Bro, so sick, helicopter, yeah, Never Home, you guys rule." Or am I wrong?
I probably would too, though. If I would have seen Nick just like blast through my apartment on a helicopter, I'd be like, "Hey, dude, like, are you okay?"
Blast through your wall like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
Tom just hates North Carolina because Tom didn't go to the last 2 years of Bar Down Breakfest.
I don't hate North Carolina. I love North Carolina. What I don't love is the fact that like Mikey scours every square mile of North Carolina to find bands that like have 300 plays on Spotify, and he's like, "Bro," he's like, "Yeah, you ever heard of Raleigh?
Sauce, bro.
You ever heard of Raleigh? Fucking Raleigh? They're so good, dude. They got this song. It's called Poop in a Bag." And it's just like, all right, yeah. And I'm like, Mikey, what do you think about, I don't know, are you into movements? He's like, where are they from? And I'm like, California. He's like, no, they suck. Ah! You know,
Sorry, I support the
North
local
Carolina
music
or
scene,
bust. North
Tom.
Carolina
So-
or bust.
Sorry.
So now I'm only gonna pull unknown bands from South London.
You should
entire time.
absolutely do
What
it.
were they called? Vampire Stinky Vampire? What are they called?
Vampire
Slumber
Slumber
Party.
Vampire Slumber Party. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
all right. But honestly, that name makes me think that they would just sound like Streetlight Manifesto.
Yeah, it has like
That's
a
what
very
it makes me
ska.
think. That's what I thought. Like when you said that band name, I was like, oh, we're gonna listen to some ska, but
Yeah, no,
Not yet.
not today.
not yet. But we will eventually have some ska on this show.
A name like
Mikey-
that would make me think they would be like a mathcore band or something.
Oh yeah, like This Town Needs Guns or or whatever they call themselves now.
Mikey, if you want a band that you could really hear the guy's accent come through like thick as day, listen to this band Coast to Coast. They're an English emo
dude.
band. Listen
Oh
to
my
them. Listen to
gosh.
their song Post Graduation, and you will hear the most Birmingham accent you could possibly fucking hear in your life.
Or the sun
and
is
then let me
dim.
know. Or the sun is
Dude, the sun is dim. Dude, that popped up on my algorithm probably right around the time when I was graduating college, and I was so depressed, and I was like, this song is so cathartic, but it's making me feel so much worse. It's such a good song though, man. When like every now and then I'll like it'll like crawl its way back into my algorithm on like my day mix or something, and I'll be like driving down somewhere or I'll be at work, and all of a sudden I hear that, and I'm like, here we go again, man.
Yeah, you got like fucking
Like-
English cottage core countryside playlist.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have it's weird. Even though I don't have kids, every time I hear Wyatt's song by the Wonder Years, I always just get like so emotional about it because like he just loves his son so much. And then and now Junebug, he just loves his daughter, right? I think it's about his daughter.
Yeah.
And he just loves his daughter so much. And it's just like, I remember when like Soupy hated everything, you know? You can't even call him, you're not allowed to call him Soupy anymore. He's Dan. If you call him
he's
Soupy,
Dan.
he's like, I'm not Soupy, I'm Dan.
And he's got a fucking sick sneaker game.
Yeah, dude, he does. And he loves Zach Ertz.
I don't know who that is.
He's a football player.
We are getting off the rails. Tom,
Okay, well,
He's
what's the
also
next
best
one?
friends with Seth Rollins.
go into Chinese buffets.
Oh, God. There was a sign at WrestleMania that said Seth Rollins listens to Transit. And I remember asking Ella about it. And she was like, yeah, I saw that sign. I think that was just one of our friends. And it was like right on the hard cam for the whole Seth Rollins match. And that was the match where he wrestled Randy Orton. And they did that really cool spot where he went for the curb stomp and then flew up in the air. And Randy Orton hit the RKO. And
Hit the RKO.
and he was so pumped about it.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
the night he won the WWE championship too.
Yeah, he did. You know,
Catch this
sometime-
and more on our Patreon account where we talk about wrestling.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely.
making me want to just run and play in traffic with all this wrestling talk.
we 45 seconds we talked about wrestling.
I will say, I feel like just as someone, because like when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling. I lived in a pretty
bummer.
strict household,
Dang.
and so I never got into it. But I've noticed, and I wonder if it's because people like over at Netflix and other things have like picked it up. But like I've seen, it seems like these days it's culturally way more prevalent.
Mm.
Like it seems like
Yep.
so many more people than ever are into it, and it's made me want to like retroactively go back and like watch like
So
old seasons somewhere.
so I'll just interject with this one last point and then we'll go on. Wrestling will never ever be as popular as it was during the Attitude Era slash
Okay.
Monday Night Wars. So we're talking 96 to like 2001.
Okay.
Is when it was most popular. Like just to give you some perspective, the highest rated wrestling segment of all time was in 1999, and it was The Rock and Mankind, and they did a "This Is Your Life" segment, which if you watch it now, kind of sucks. Honestly, it sucked, but it got an 8.3, which is like absolutely like outstanding.
Yeah.
Like that many homes were watching that, you know. So I mean, wrestling doesn't get anywhere near that now. I think like Raw. Well, you don't know what Raw does now because they're streaming, but I think
It's on
SmackDown.
Netflix, yeah.
I think SmackDown does like 1.6, 1.7. You know, I mean, like wrestling definitely isn't as big as it was then, and it will never be that big. But wrestling is coming back in a big way ever since they gave Vince McMahon the boot because he's a shit kicker. So, but anyways, you know, we'll talk about this on our Patreon on our new show called Justin and Tom Talk About Wrestling, and Mikey poops in his pants.
And he doesn't
Bar down
come.
SmackDown, man.
He
Yeah,
doesn't come.
oh wow, bar down SmackDown, dude, tailor made. Yeah, we got to do that. We definitely got to do that. So, all right, what 180 by Summer, right?
That is
Yeah,
correct.
so I got here's my second one. It's 180 by Summer. Their song Reputation, also known as Tough Times, and paying homage to one of the coolest fucking venues in South Florida. Tough Times. Shout out Chalo and the guys. It's no longer a venue anymore, but you know, Out of Time was lucky enough to play there with Sick Enough and Last Disaster. 180 by Summer is one of the bands that was
And
playing
Seneca
there
Burns.
pretty often. And yeah, we played there with Seneca Burns too. I don't remember that because Atticus ran off in the night to the lighthouse.
I will kill you.
So yeah, I have not heard this song. I think this is the band's first release on Spotify as well. They usually do, I believe, like emo night covers for a lot of their sets, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, they'll just throw it in the chat because they're currently playing a set right now. But yeah, this is Reputation, Tough Times by 180 by Summer, and I can only assume that they are big Taking Back Sunday fans. Because
All
why
right.
else would you name a song 180 by Summer? Or a band?
Wanna run your mouth and tell all your friends about how fast you dropped whatever
Right off the bat.
we had. Wanna make me look bad and ask me later when you get over it.
I'm getting like Amberlin vibes.
Yeah. A little bit of lost for words in there.
I don't think that they're getting better. Should've known this is what happens when I choose to be myself. I always make the same mistakes. Leave disappointment in my way. Just ask anybody what my reputation's worth these days. Wanna sit me down? Tell me what you heard about all my past transgressions
the audition.
and
That's what I'm getting.
misunderstandings.
Remember the audition?
But don't say how much you love me when I know you throw my name right in the dirt. Times are tough now and I don't think that they're getting better. Should've known
I love those harmonies.
when I choose to be myself. I always make the same mistakes. Leave disappointment in my wake. Just ask anybody what my reputation's worth these days.
Ooh.
Okay.
These days.
Love an arpeggiated part.
Dude, that's like an audition part right there. It really is.
We're so better. All my friends are just fair weather. Oh, South Florida, we're so better. All my friends are just fair weather. Oh, South Florida, we're so better. All my friends are just fair weather.
Do a snare roll? Guitar solo?
That kind of sounded like a little like Say Anything at that part.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's a really strong debut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
That's
song.
awesome. Good for them.
They're currently playing their single release show with Fast Walker and Last Disaster down in South Florida tonight over at the Lauderdale Brewery and Tap Room. So if you're listening to this and you're in Fort Lauderdale, you fucking missed out on a sick show. But yeah, man, I think I said it, when we did the Poison the Well song, how like the South Florida scene has like a super special place for me, just because I grew up down there. Like I've seen some of the coolest fucking bands that don't exist anymore, and I try to like find some weird upload on SoundCloud just to be able to listen to them again.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
But these guys are awesome. Like I've been seeing them around a lot. Like I said, they've played Tough Times a lot. And when I saw like Chalo and Jared and everybody that means a lot to me down in South Florida start posting about this band this week, I was like, I'm gonna throw them on here. I can't listen to the song, which kind of sucks, but I'm gonna throw them on here and do a blind reaction for them because they're sick. Like
Yeah.
they deserve everything that they're getting, and they need to put the rest of that fucking album out like tomorrow so we can start listening to this.
So, first and foremost, obviously, they need to get better friends because they just kept telling us about their fair weather
That's South
friends.
Florida, man. Fair weather friends.
I mean, that it's just you got to do what you got to do. But love the vibe of the song. It was I kind of love the pacing. That guitar solo is really sick. A little weird though. Like so, the guitar solo was like the first half of it was like very much in the mix, and then like the second half was like very much not in the mix. Did anyone else catch that? Or is that
I heard like more synth coming out from the mix than I heard.
Yeah, it was weird. And then that piano part was cool because they hit the chord and then they kind of had the reverse, like sound. So they hit the chord and then they got the wah, when you play a piano chord and you just turn it around. Super cool there. I think that would again be my only criticism of the song is like when he was like wailing on that second part of that guitar solo where he was like kind of doing the tremolo stuff, kind of got buried in the mix. But, the gang vocals were great, great little touch there. Love those. And I kind of, the only thing I think I really agreed with on what Mikey was saying was getting like the audition vibes. Definitely wasn't feeling Anne Berlin. Wasn't really feeling Say Anything. I mean, Say Anything to me is like very like theatrical.
It was just that like piano part. It wasn't
Right.
the entire song.
Right.
It was
But-
just that one section.
But yeah, definitely got those audition vibes, and for sure like that kind of mid 2000s pop punk, sort of deal with again with the tempo, again with the just the way the song was built out, the rhythm power chords and octaves on top, that kind of vibe. I liked the song a lot. I really did. I think it was a good pick.
And
Yeah.
and just to piggyback on the fair weather vibe, they are all Panther fans.
I did see that. I did see that in one of their
Yeah.
promo photos. They were rocking Panthers stuff. But
They're all Florida Panther fans, so fair weather fans to the max, right there.
that is true.
Them. That's them.
The vocals in terms of just some of the inflection and timbre kind of reminded me of this band called Dozer TX.
Yes.
Never heard of them.
They were, I mean, I don't think they're a thing anymore. They haven't uploaded anything in like 5 years. But they were like a pop punk kind of band. They were crazy fun. But yeah, their vocalist had like a certain way he pronounced things where he almost did like harsh pronunciations, which I always found was really interesting because I feel like typically, I mean, I know at least like for me too, like whenever like I'm doing like that more pop punky belty thing, because you're trying to project so much, you can't really like do hard pronunciations. You kind of have to like play with a lot of E's and O's.
Yeah.
And like what always kind of struck me with like Dozer was that like their vocalist always was able to kind of like get around that and like do hard pronunciations on words. And it kind of, it sounded like he sounded very similar to him, and that was just like a very cool, like deep little memory it pulled out. I was like, that was really cool.
I have a joke for you guys. What is a pop punk vocalist's favorite month?
May.
May. Yeah. There is.
And AE.
Can't tell you. MAE. Great band. But like, can't tell you how many times I've heard a pop punk band pronounce me as May. And it's a point of contention.
It's reminiscent of NSYNC.
Yeah. It's gonna be May. I'm so good at singing. Fuck you guys.
You are on something, man, tonight.
Yeah, I'm
You
on
are
I'm
on a
on
heater.
rainbow. I'm on rainbow cookies. You
He's
know,
on rainbow cookies and all you can eat Chinese buffet.
got that blood sugar, baby. Woo.
Got that MSG right now.
Oh yeah, monosodium glutamate.
Yeah.
Mikey, what's your
We
first pick?
better line up a few guests for the next few weeks because Tom's about to be out.
Time will tell. Time will
Tell. All right. Yeah. The next one is one of those bands that's kind of just been showing up on so many show flyers that I kind of just pay attention to. Especially Pugfest just released their lineup that's coming out in June. And if you're familiar with Pugfest, there's definitely kind of a Midwest kind of vibe that festival kind of curates, and I'm assuming that this band fits that perfectly. So I'm kind of throwing them in with like the Moose Creek Parks and the Inner Loves and that kind of world. So we shall see. But killer band name. I don't remember there being a fight scene in Casper, but maybe there was. But
Was it with his like brother Ghost?
I guess maybe, right?
I don't know.
But-
I don't remember Casper very very well.
But either way,
Christina Ricci?
I never saw him. I don't believe in ghosts.
touche. But yeah, the album actually came out today, and this wasn't one of the singles that they released for this.
All right.
So I'm kind of blindly picking even the song that we're gonna listen to.
I like that.
But
I like
it was
that a lot.
it was track number 4 on the album, and I feel like track number 4 is historically a pretty solid track.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of where my mind was going with why I picked this.
Yeah.
I didn't want to pick the singles because some of them have been out for a couple of months, but this song was not one of the singles, and it literally came out today when the album dropped. So we'll check it out. It's the Casper fight scene, Geezer. And we're just a bunch of geezers, so this makes sense anyway.
Already getting Roswell Kid vibes.
Yep.
Asleep at the wheel, we jumped up over the curb, and then I lost all control. We were there dead in the road. We were there dead in the road. Do you think you still love me if I turned you away? Do you think that you can, or would you laugh in my face? You said things would be different, but they still feel the same. Even if things change, then they won't come anyway.
I'm getting like Father vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
We get fucked up on flashmans and you dance with the cat. We would talk for hours about your shitty dad.
So I'm in love with this chord progression. For all of you music nerds out there, 1, 3, 7, 6, 4. Brilliant. Love that.
There'd be no point anyway. There'd be no point anyway. There'd be no point anyway.
That was fun.
Love that. Definitely a band that has played Pugfest multiple years.
I love it. I love that. That was a great song.
I was gonna say it's right up Tom's alley.
I was gonna
It
say
really
that's a
is.
Tom's band. Like,
Dude, it was big time. I love the crunchiness. I love the chord progression. I love that like pre-chorus build on the tom and the snares. Just man, that's good. That's real good stuff. I'm definitely gonna listen to that whole record.
Can we just shout out Weezer really quick for being the influence for all these bands that we pretty much listened to tonight?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, fucking shout out Weezer for just being the fucking them.
Right.
Because we wouldn't have had all this amazing music.
Yes, really, if we're gonna shout out Weezer, we've got to shout out Pixies.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Pixies, we wouldn't have Weezer. So
yeah.
So shout out to my
Chuck Berry.
Right? Wait until you get a load of this. Shout out Michael J. Fox. Great song, great band name. I've heard the band name before. I don't think I've ever listened to the band. I have this weird thing where like emo bands like put out records that don't sound good and I don't want to listen to them. That's and I like everyone's gonna hate me for saying this, especially like all the
especially the subreddit.
All of the emo bros out there, but like Algernon Cadwallader, like get better production, man. Like,
first off, Gazoon Tight.
Yeah, what the hell? That's a band name you just
that's like a huge like emo band. Like people are going nuts about them, and they're I think they're like coming back or maybe have played a couple of shows, and like it's kind of like how when American football was playing in the 90s, nobody gave a shit about them. And they were playing in like Champaign, Illinois to like 40 people. And then they were like, hey, we're back. And then they sold out Webster Hall in like 45 minutes. So it's like that kind of deal. But like this, I love because the production, like it wasn't overproduced, but like it still sounded good. And I think some emo bands fall into that whole idea of like, oh, well, real emo, was really gritty and it didn't sound good. So, we're not gonna even bother to, to mix this. We're just gonna play it live and then put it on a CD or put it on a cassette tape, so. But I love that. That was a great song. That was like it was kind of monumental for me. I want to listen to it like a bunch of times now. How did that hit you, Mikey? Like being your pick, like what? Were you expecting, something like that at all?
I was, just because, like I said, I know that they're playing Pugfest, and Pugfest definitely has kind of a certain kind of sound.
Mm-hmm.
However, like, I guess you would say that Pugfest is kind of like a Midwest emo kind of festival.
Right.
But the twinkly guitars that we did hear have a completely different tone than what you're used to when you hear like the twinkly guitars.
For sure.
So it was kind of refreshing. And then, not a super popular band, but at least like, Justin and I are familiar with this band Like Father, which also we coin being a Tom's band. Like I instantly got those vibes, and we always say that Like Father sounds like a Weezer influenced band, which you picked up on. So very much in the same kind of world as that.
You know what vibes I got? I got Prince Daddy vibes too.
Yeah, I was gonna say they could have been a band that opens for Prince Daddy.
Right. Yeah.
And Hyena.
I like that. It's good. It's good stuff. But yeah, that's definitely a Tom band. It's definitely a band that I'm gonna check out. What was your take, William?
I thought they were really good. I mean, I'm not too familiar with that style.
Right.
But I did like the fact that, like, I mean, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, because sometimes I mistake what an instrument was. Like, was that brass in the beginning, or was that just the guitar?
No, and it sounded like brass too. Like when I first
Yeah,
heard it, I
like-
was like, what are we getting into here? But I think that was just like a crazy like kind of fuzz tremolo effect.
Because that was
Um,
really cool. If that was
yeah.
guitar, like that sounded like the fact
Felt
that
like they drowned
I
it
mis-
out with chorus a little bit.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I mistook that for like a trumpet,
Right.
which was
No,
so cool.
it had that
um,
it had that timbre for sure.
It really wasn't until the solo when I was like, and certain voicings, I was like, okay, no, that's definitely a guitar.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just, I mean, I'm gonna say this with every track that's come on tonight, but I mean, it's just fun.
Hell yeah, absolutely. So
And I like the storytelling, like with the lyrics. It really was telling more of a story, kind of a linear story.
see, I want to talk to you about this, Mikey. I love doing this with you because we listen to two different things. Like we absolutely do. Like a first run through a song, I'm like almost ignoring the vocals, like the actual words. I'm listening to the instrumentation and I'm listening to the vocal melodies. You are obviously listening to the instrumentation, but you are also paying attention to the vocals way more than me. Like when I do a first listen to a record, I literally don't even, like, the vocals don't even faze me. When I do a second listen to the record, that's usually when I will listen for the lyrics, or I'll like read along with the lyrics just to get like some perspective. But like that's something I love about doing this podcast with you, because like we together create like one really good music listener, but like side by side we're like both okay music listeners, you know? So I love that about us, and I feel like Justin's kind of right smack dab in the middle of the two of us. Like Justin like will pay attention to the lyrics, but because he's a guitarist is very much like listening to the guitars and listening to the instrumentation. But you know, because he's also, you know, been a vocalist and, you know, written a lot of vocals, you know, I think he kind of has an ear for that too. So, you know, I think it's a very why did you get so close to your camera? That was weird. You were like,
I had to check my battery pack. But either way, let's keep the show rolling. The next one is definitely our most, I guess you would say, like mainstream band of the night.
Nobody's heard of this band ever.
yeah,
But
nobody knows this
the
is-
funny thing is, like, at least I could pretty much speak for all of us. We're all not huge Mayday Parade fans, and like for me, I kind of feel like I'm going into this blind because I haven't listened to Mayday Parade probably in like 15 years or whatever. Like even when A Lesson in Romantics came out, like their first album, I was already kind of like too cool for school at that point. I was like, it was at maybe my junior year of college, and I wasn't really listening to that kind of pop punky music in college. It just wasn't my thing at the time. So like, yeah, I heard those songs, like, you know, the Jamie All Over You and like some of the more popular ones more through like Caitlin, my wife, than like me personally listening to them. So I really have no idea what Mayday Parade sounds like in 2025. I'm not gonna lie. So
Man, you guys missed out on what it means to fall apart.
dude, I don't even know what that is. Like,
Yeah,
that's how
I like.
casual of a fan I am of this band.
They were one of the bands that, for me, I mean, because the thing that got me into all the music I'm into now was pop punk, but like they were one of the bands that kind of just got like slipped past me. Lesson in Romantics
Me
is like
too.
a solid record, but like
Yeah.
I think around that time, because when did that record come out? Was that 2007?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think at that time, I think a lot of the pop punky bands I was into at the time were more like along the lines of like Boys Like Girls and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I was more in that vein of it, even though like they were pretty much similar. So
You were
Yeah,
the neon
like-
pop punk is what we coined it.
yeah. So I was more into that. I was more into that.
Like Forever the Sickest Kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
stuff like that, or like Fall Out Boy and all
Yeah.
that.
So
Metro Station.
right.
Yeah.
Metro-
I will say, so actually, like two things, one related to Mayday and one related to Metro Station. I saw Mayday Parade for the first time in forever, because I think the last time I had seen them was probably Warped Tour. And I saw them when they opened for Yellow Card, which is my favorite band of all time.
Sick.
And I had no idea how like shy on stage their vocalist is. He is such a shy dude.
Oh, Derek, yeah.
He very much like tries to like shrink within himself and try to like focus in on like himself, which was very interesting, like for a band to be that experienced and to be at that caliber.
Right.
And unless that's just like, you know, unless it's just like part of like a stage thing that he does, but he seemed very shy, which was very surprising. And the other thing with Metro Station, I went back recently and I listened to that record, and very nostalgic, but also not great. Like it was it's very mid.
Nope.
If even that. But I will say there was a song, because at one point, because I was like a really big fan of them, and at one point there was they were supposed to be coming back. This was like maybe like mid 2010s or something, early 2010s, and there was a demo that that Mason had put out there, the one that had the super flippy hair. He had put out this demo, I think it was called Ain't So High, and that song was actually like really, really freaking good, but they never officially released it. So like you have to like hunt it down on like SoundCloud or something to listen to it. And every now and then when I'm getting like when I want to like hunt it down, I just like see what avenue can I find it on, and then I'll just like put it on repeat a few times and put it off. But it was much more like synth poppy rock stuff.
Right.
It was very much more in the pocket, and felt like more of like what Metro Station was trying to do but couldn't figure out.
Right.
And he put that demo out, and then he's like, yeah, that's it. And then they never came back, and I was kind of bummed by that.
Refresh my memory. Metro Station was Miley Cyrus's brother, right?
Yeah. So
Miley Cyrus's brother and Mitchell Musso's brother.
Yeah, and
Right.
I honestly like. I feel like Miley. So Trace Cyrus is his name.
Trace Cyrus. That's.
I feel like, to be honest, I feel like Trace contributed literally nothing. I think that I really think that the only reason he was in the band was because I think Trace and Mitchell's parents were like, oh well, these guys we could put you together and create a band.
Right.
But really, Metro Station was Mason's thing. Like I feel like he was the one that kind of did all the writing.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing too. Because I don't think like Trace really had any like talent.
It was just name recognition.
Well, yeah,
That's
exactly. Because if you listen to any of those songs, Mason is doing all the guitar work. He is doing all the singing, and anything that you hear Trace on, he's just talking like this, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And so like it was always, in my opinion, it was always, even though it was like an industry plant type band, in terms of the actual creative work that came out of it, it was entirely Mason, in my opinion.
Right. No, I would agree with with that. So real quick, I would love to know, William, what your favorite Yellow Card record is.
Paper Walls, 1000%.
Really? See,
I think that because everybody loves Ocean Avenue, and Ocean Avenue is great. That was my older brother got me that record for Christmas in 2003, so I was 8 years old.
Right.
So I had I had never heard of this genre. I had only listened to worship music up to that point.
Right.
And so it honestly kind of scared me, because he blasted it in his little Ford Focus when he picked me up from church, and it freaked me out. But I loved it, and so I love that record. But there's a big lull in the middle, I think. It picks back up with 23 and Life of a Salesman and everything else. But other than that, it's kind of mainly ballads. Paper Walls for me was the record. At that point, I had already been playing a lot of this, because I was 12. I think when that record came out, and so at that point I was playing guitar, and I was getting more into more. I think around that time I was getting into metal, and so I was getting more into it was a more aggressive record. But then also that record kind of followed me in certain points in my life, where whenever I had really bad shit going on in my life, those lyrics, especially the very end at Paper Walls, where Ryan says, "Let's take what hurts, write it all down on these paper walls in this empty house, and when our ink runs out, we'll burn it to the ground." And to me, that was like so cathartic.
Yeah.
It was cathartic for me when I was like an emo teenager going through like a high school breakup. It was cathartic for me when I was going through like a depressive episode in college. It was cathartic for me when I was older and trying to figure out my identity. That record I feel like is so applicable to so many parts of my life that like it will always be my number one record no matter what.
That.
But I feel like all their records, like no matter what they put out, I feel like they just can't do wrong. Like I feel like I'm definitely biased, but I feel like, I mean, like the stuff they put out recently, with their comeback EP, like every song in there is like been in my rotation, and it doesn't feel different from anything else they put out in the sense of like it is Yellow Card, and like in the best way possible, and I've like loved that.
Yeah. So I'll tell. I have my Mayday Parade story loaded up, but I'll tell it after we listen to the single. But I will tell just a quick Yellow Card story. So my favorite Yellow Card record, One for the Kids. And I'm going to tell you why. So I was 14 years old. I was sitting in a car with Mike Calvert and Chris Barone, my buddies who were in this band called the Buddy System back on Long Island, who were fantastic. And we were literally about to go to my first ever general admission show. So I was 14 years old. We were going to go see Thursday Saves the Day and Hey Mercedes.
Oh, that's so sick.
And I remember distinctly in the car him playing One for the Kids by Yellow Card, and him also playing Perhaps I Suppose by Rufio. So he got me into both of those bands. But One for the Kids was one of those records that just never, as good as Ocean Avenue was, as good as what was the one after that? It was the one
Lights
before
and Sounds.
Lights and Sounds. Yeah, as good as that was. I just, Rockstar Land, Drifting, freaking Cigarette,
October Nights,
Starstruck, October Nights. I mean, so such great songs. And then, really, truthfully, my favorite Yellow Card song is on Underdog, and that's Avondale. I just love that song. But One for the Kids was a special one for me. And then when Ocean Avenue came out and they finally got their stripes, I very distinctly remember, and it's a bummer to say this, but I remember going to Riot Fest in 2013, and when I went, one of the first bands I went to go see was Yellow Card, and they were playing, their set, and they were blasting through songs from, their fourth record, their fifth record, blah, 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 blah. And then the last three songs they played were from Ocean Avenue. And unfortunately, when I tell you the crowd stood still for every song, and then when they were like, this one's called Way Away, crowd just blew up.
Yep.
And it's such a bummer because those records that came after Ocean Avenue were all fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But unfortunately, they weren't Ocean Avenue. And I feel like
they weren't MTV hype.
And I feel like so many bands have that, right? I feel like Taking Back Sunday, for instance, right? Cartel. I mean, that after that, the EP and the first record, I mean, nobody cared. And they even did the whole band in the bubble thing, and nobody cared. But Taking Back Sunday, man, I mean, A Decade Under the Influence, Where You Want to Be. After that record, in my opinion, those next two records were the best Taking Back Sunday records, Louder Now and New Again. But, I would go to shows and they'd play, these songs from Louder Now and New Again. The crowd would just be like, and then they'd finally be like, all right, we're going to play Timberwolves at New Jersey. And, everyone's fucking balls would explode, and it's just like, it's such a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the reason why, Yellow Card, they did this like Twitch live stream thing where they like a week before the EP came out, they were doing like a Q&A and doing like a live like early preview of it. Then they said one of the biggest reasons why they broke up initially in 2017 was because like they felt like they were constantly living in Ocean Avenue's shadow.
Right.
And they could never make a record that was as big, which sucks because like I'm of the same mind. I feel like every record after Ocean Avenue is better than Ocean Avenue.
Oh yeah.
And so like for them, it's like they've like one of the things that was really cool, like, you know, when you watch an artist over the years and kind of see them like get over certain internal struggles that they're very public about.
Right.
It's been really awesome to see that as they've come back, that they said we're not going anywhere this time.
Right.
We've learned to make peace with the fact that we will never make a record like Ocean Avenue, and that just means that now we can just make whatever we want.
Yeah.
Which is why I think like their comeback EP was so strong, and they're working on a new record now. So it's like I wish more bands. I mean, a lot of it times like it's not their fault. It's external pressures, but I wish more bands were able to kind of get past the fact that like, yeah, you might not be able to like meet this, but that means there's new heights you can meet that aren't that.
Hey, Turnover did it, and they got a lot of shit for it. But I mean, the reality is, you know, Magnolia was a good record. Does not touch Peripheral Vision. Peripheral Vision is a goddamn masterpiece, and so many people were like, "Whoa, what happened to?" And Citizen, right? Citizen, Youth, great record, but. In my opinion, As You Please, way better. In my opinion, even Movements. You know, we talked about Movements last episode. You know, obviously, you know, what's the name of the record, Mikey? I can't think of it.
Something.
Feel Something,
right? Feel Something. Great record. Awesome. In my opinion, Ruckus. Incredible record. So, you know, I feel like nowadays more and more bands aren't afraid to kind of break the mold and kind of do what they want to do. But you know, back in the day, in the 2000s, I mean, it was like sacrilege. You know, it's like, you know, when Fall Out Boy put out Folie à Deux, you know, like so many Fall Out Boy fans like lost their shit. It's just like, but Folie à Deux is an incredible record. And it's just like, and you know who said it best? And then we'll play the song. Kenny from the Starting Line said it best on, I can't think of the name of the song on Direction, but he said, essentially if ILYSMI, you know, if say it like you mean it, or however the acronym goes, he said, you know, if that's all that you want, then, you know, essentially said, like, if that's what you want, I'm afraid that you're not going to get it, you know? And it's like, if every artist had that mentality, you know, I think it would be way better. But, you know, bands suffer from it. You know, I don't love to talk about Saves the Day much anymore because Chris is a creep. But, you know, going from Stay What You Are to In Reverie killed Saves the Day.
Yeah.
Killed that band. And in my opinion, In Reverie is a masterpiece. It's a beautiful record, but killed them. And then, you know, they came back with, you know, Sound the Alarm, which was, in my opinion, great record. But, you know, it wasn't Stay What You Are. It wasn't Through Being Cool. And, you know, even the fucking Get Up Kids, you know, the Get Up Kids put out Something to Write Home About, you know, seminal record, incredible. Next record they put out, On a Wire, people hated it. But it's such a good record. And it's like, you know, you can't just put out the same record over and over again. You can't do it.
No.
Because it stifles your creativity, and it makes you not want to be in a band. You know, if you have 80 songs that all sound the same, like, what does that do for you? You know, maybe it's great for fans, kinda, but like, even fans grow up. You know, when you're 18, you want to listen to Rufio. You know, we talked about it last episode. Perhaps, I suppose, when we were 18 was like the coolest fucking thing ever. But now I put that record on and I'm like, wow, this sounds like shit. You know? And like, I can hear all the mistakes that they made in the record. You know, actually, funny enough, man, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. I know I should shut the fuck up. I just
Too many rainbow cookies.
Too many rainbow cookies. Boys Night Out, right? Boys Night Out. The slow song on Make Yourself Sick, you know, the one where he goes, memory defeats us all, stagnant one, bloody was. I can't think of the name of the song. But they go into this part where like he obviously doesn't get the click, and he starts playing, and then you can hear him slow down to the click. And you know, and then the song keeps going and it's great, right? But it's like, those little mistakes are charming to me. But like when you listen to that Rufio record and you hear all these like little mistakes that happen and like these like weird tempo changes because it seems like they just played live and not to a click, it's like I listen to it and I'm just like, damn, like I really like I liked this. Like I really liked one slow dance. Like I listen to one slow dance now and I cringe. I'm like, this fucking song, you know? So but with Mayday Parade, which we're gonna listen to their single now, I for some reason I don't feel that way about Jersey or Jamie All Over or, you know, When I Get Home You're So Dead. I still love those songs.
Yeah.
So you know, let's hope this, I mean, sounds a little bit like, you know, I mean, I'm sure it won't, but you know, we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, you know, could always surprise me.
Yeah, going in blind on Mayday Parade in 2025.
Every moment wants to feel brand new. Every moment I'm alone with you. Carry on when it starts to feel this way.
This is quintessential Mayday
Up
Parade.
ahead there's
Yeah.
something worth the wait. And you're miles away from it all, but I don't care. I'm still singing, 'cause you make me feel less small. You are the wave beneath it all. You lift me when I fall down. As I
Derek's voice,
go,
man, is
carry
just like
hope it
top
won't
notch.
be long. We'll
Yep.
make an
Top notch. So
ocean
good.
of this song.
It's very
Now
refined.
sail where the wind blows now.
It's crazy though, because I'm getting like Grayscale vibes. I'm getting the vocalists of Grayscale, which obviously they're going on tour together, but
Towards you.
that's what I'm getting.
It's hard to see the
This is an
bad
interesting
you're
visualizer.
lying in.
Yeah,
Where the
I like how it's all of
colors
you from that
stop
porthole
and
or that
you
like window
begin.
dressing, brain something.
All I know is I wanna be there too. A silhouette in the perfect shape of you.
Nice line.
We're miles away from it all, but I don't care. I'm still singing, 'cause you make me feel less small. You are the wave beneath it all. You lift me when I fall down. As I go, carry hope it won't be long. We'll make an ocean of this song, and I'll sail where the wind blows now.
Nice little strings.
I'm still singing, 'cause you make me feel less small. You are the wave beneath it all. You lift me when I fall down. As I go, carry hope it won't be long. We'll make an ocean of this song, and I'll sail where the wind blows now.
That was
Those are Mayday Parade
fantastic.
songs.
I mean, the reality of that song is that Derek Sanders is like worlds apart from other vocalists. I mean, like that's the reality. Like that's what made that song so good, is the fact that he is so dynamic. He has such a great range. It's just like you can hear every emotion in what he sings. And the Mayday purists that are always like Jason Lancaster, no, Derek Sanders is Mayday Parade. I mean, like it's just the reality. And I mean, normally acoustic songs kind of don't keep my attention so much, but that one was so bold and was so well written and just beautiful. And he uses his lower range and his higher range and the harmonies. It's just absolutely great. So real quick, I'll tell my Mayday Parade story, and then I'll let you guys handle the rest of it. But Justin, refresh my memory. When did Dead Friends come out?
Terrible. Oh, Dead Friends.
Right, yeah, the EP. Was it 06?
Pulling it up right now. I would say probably like 2005, 2006.
Because when it came out, I'll be able to tell you what Warped Tour it was.
2006 it came out.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Warped Tour 06. So it's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm already like halfway in the bag. I've drank like 6 beers on the line. I'm sweating. It's the fucking summer. I'm like, at that point, probably 350 pounds. And this fucking guy comes walking up to me. He's got a Discman, right? He's like, "Hey man, we're not on the tour. We're just kind of following in our van. But I got we're just putting out this EP, and I really think you'd like it. Do you want to listen to it a little bit?" So he hands me this sweaty pair of headphones that have been on everybody else's heads, and I'm just like so drunk, and I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Person I'm talking to is Jason Lancaster, and I don't realize it. I don't know who Mayday Parade is, and he plays "When I Get Home, You're So Dead," right? And the EP version, what immediately made me love it was there's castanets in it. The little clickety clacks.
Oh
right?
yeah,
hell yeah! So I hear that, right? And then of course at that point, 2006. What am I? 19 years old. The line where he's like, "Stupid little whore," I was just like, "Oh, I love this." So I finished listening to the song. He's like, "What'd you think, man?" I'm like, "Oh, that was so great." And he's like, "Well, we're selling it for, $5. Do you want to buy one?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'll buy one from you." So I bought it, and it was a digipack, right? If you remember those, you fold it open, the CD's there, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm holding it. I get into Warped Tour. I end up putting it in like my Epitaph swag bag that you would get every year that would just have like Hot Water Music stickers that you could just put, wherever you wanted to.
Sure.
And so that's how I first heard of Mayday Parade. Jason Lancaster just walked up to me and was just like, listen to my band. And, now look at them. I mean, now they're, playing, to thousands and thousands of people. It was a wild story. And I love it just because it just goes to show you that like everyone's got to start somewhere, right?
Yep.
And it goes to show the power of the Warped Tour, right? Like I know we're getting it back in like a real small dose.
I know.
Mayday Parade's not the only example of a band that followed the tour, even though they didn't play the tour.
And I think
Forever King Calling did that.
But I think he's notorious for it. My homeboy who curated Warped Tour, whose name I can't think of.
Kevin Lyman.
Thank you very much. He's notorious for noticing when bands do that and then putting them on a small stage. So I remember very clearly my first Warped Tour was, I want to say 2003 when it was still at Randall's Island. And a local band.
That was your first? Because that was my first one.
I'm pretty sure I might have went to 02, but I'm pretty sure 03 was my first one when I was 16. But anyway, also Randall's Island Warped Tour, Black Boogers for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
But so a local band from Long Island, ASOB, who if you know Jeff Rosenstock, who everybody knows Jeff Rosenstock, that was Jeff Rosenstock's first band, crazy ska band. They followed the tour through all the Northeast states. And I believe it was like 4 days. And when they finally got to like somewhere a little bit further south, I want to say maybe Virginia, Kevin Lyman just approaches them in their van and is like, "Hey boys, we want to get you on 3 dates. We'll put you on this one. North Carolina and South Carolina. And, just put them on the tour. I think they got paid a couple $100 for each show. That is the true power of Warped Tour. And that is and that is why Kevin Lyman, and that's why Kevin Lyman is the man.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people, gave him a lot of guff for how the whole front porch step thing was handled, which I understand. And a lot of people have given him a lot of guff for Warped Tour, at the very end, not being the safest place for women, not that any of that was his fault. Right. But, that's the reason I love Kevin Lyman, because he gives people a chance. And I mean, like, even us, like, we wrote to him to be like, hey, we love you. Would you want to come on an episode? And he was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Kevin Lyman wants to talk to us. What the fuck? So I love that guy. I love that Warped Tour is back. I don't love that, like, I have to sit through like Black Veil Brides and Falling in Reverse, but like, they make money and they draw, Hulk Hogan also drew, and he's a piece of shit, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But the more and more bands that are announced, the more and more I'm strongly considering making a road trip down to Orlando, and also trying to steal my dog back if I can. But
hey, it'll be super comfortable in Orlando. It's in November.
I know.
Tom meant to say steal his dog in Minecraft to just take
in Minecraft.
No,
in
Stardew,
Minecraft.
Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley.
Yeah, he's gonna steal his dog in Stardew Valley.
There you go.
But great song. Wasn't expecting an acoustic song, but I'll take that every day. Especially when it's a Mayday Parade song and I get to hear, Derek Sanders' beautiful voice. Really what got me into Mayday Parade was I had a decent month where I was really sick, and I threw on YouTube and I found these web streams from the 2014 Warped Tour. And the first song I heard Mayday play was Oh Well, Oh Well. And so I listened to the live version of it, and I was like, wow, this song rips. And then I listened to the studio version of it with like all the piano and all like the extra stuff that you like didn't get. And I was like, oh my God, okay, this band rules. So, then I went through it all. I went through, self-titled Sunnyland, all of those records. And I mean, like, they're great. They're absolutely
so
great.
Tom is a legit Mayday Parade fan. Shit.
I am now. And also
I am now.
that's how I got into Devil Wears Prada. And it's funny, we had Mike Hranica on one of our episodes, and at the time I couldn't have given a shit less about it. And I think at that point they had just come out with The Act. I think that was the record that they were promoting around that time. But 2014 Warped Tour webcast, man, assistant to the regional manager. I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is my problem? What have I been doing? And
Not
then
even Danger Wild Man. You just went straight to
no. So here are the songs. I'm going to tell you the songs right now. Sorry, Mikey. I'm going to tell you the songs on the webcast. Assistant to the regional manager. Hey John. Martyrs.
HTML rules, dude.
No. That wasn't one of them, but great song. Martyrs. There was two more from newer records.
Dead Throne.
I think it was from
Mammoth.
Mammoth. Yep, Mammoth was one of them. Mammoth. What's the one that goes? Is it Mammoth?
Yeah, that's Mammoth.
Martyrs is the one where he goes, where he talks about how he doesn't want to be lonely, right? It's kind of like that Hopes Fallish song, right? And then there was one more that they played that I can't think of, but assistant to the regional manager, man, when they played it, I was just like, holy shit, man. And then,
Hey John, what's your name again?
Yep. Hey John, they played that. It was Hey John, assistant, Mammoth, Martyrs, and there was one more that they played. Born to Lose.
Yeah, off of
also
Dead
a great
Throne.
song. Also a great song. But so then I go and listen to With Roots Above and Branches Below, and I'm blown away, by every song. Des Moines, Danger Wild Man, Lord Xenu. They're all great.
No skips on that record,
right?
man.
So then I go back to Plagues, right? Plagues, great record. I go back to what's the first one?
Oh my goodness.
Fuck if I remember
Dear Love?
the name of that
Dear
one.
Love.
name of it?
Yeah, Beautiful
Yeah.
Discord. Wasn't into that one as much. But then so then I start going forward, right? And then I go forward, and then I get to Dead Throne, which me and Justin have talked about. My one gripe with Dead Throne is just the way that it sounds. And then he's like, yeah, but every metalcore record sounded like that in 2010, 2011. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then 818, which Justin's like, I don't like the way the guitars sound on it, but I think it's the crunchiest record ever. But the true winner of it all, Zombie.
Zombie is that record, man. Even if it was just a small EP, like that dude experiencing that live. Because I mean I won't go on a massive tangent.
No, please do.
But Prada is one of my favorite metalcore bands of all time. When I was a kid, so when I was in high school, dude, I drew that pitchfork triangle on everything.
Fuck yeah.
I wanted it tattooed on my body so bad, and I will probably still do that eventually on my arm. Because I already have like a. It's not showing it, but I already have like a Under Oath.
There you go. Disambiguation.
Circle,
Oh yeah.
But so I mean I grew up in like a small town outside of Charlotte that's over the border in South Carolina.
Right.
And then there was a gated senior community there. So I worked at a Publix as a bag boy.
There you go.
And so like the way they do things with Publix is like the way they train their people. They're like, okay, you got to like if people show you an ID, make sure you refer them as Mr. or Mrs. whatever their last name is. So this old lady comes through with her groceries and hands it off to the cashier I'm working with, and she goes, "Thank you, Miss Will. Do you know how to read this?" And I say, "Oh, it says Haranica." And I'm like, and I try to say, I only know that because my favorite vocalist has the same last name. But before I can get that out, she goes, "Yes, Michael's my grandson." And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm like, Miss Haranica, can I take your groceries out? And she's like, yeah. And we go outside and we talk for an hour and a half outside of her car.
I love that.
In the parking lot about The Devil Wears Prada. And she writes a letter to Mike. And then she's like, "Oh, are you going to see them at Warped Tour next month?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, I am." And so she's like, "Well, when you go, tell them that Nona says hi." Right. So I go and I like at their signing, and I'm like, "Oh, by the way, Mike, your Nona says hi." And then all his bandmates go, "No," and he goes, "Yep, that's my grandma." And so like after that, there was like this ongoing thing where she had like written him letters. I don't think he ever wrote one back because I never got one back. But but it turned to this thing where I would see him after certain shows. Like he would go to a venue and he would hang out afterward, and like he had to remember me a couple of times because there was like a year in college where I saw them like 5 times because I had nothing else better to do. Like my band had just broken up, so I was just like going to every date I could possibly go because they did the Zombie 5 tour on top of later that year the co-headliner with Motionless in White. And so like I was going to like every possible date within my area I could. But like he had told me that apparently after that interaction at Warped Tour, his band gave him shit for like a year, saying that like, "Oh yeah, your grandma's got a little fan base in fucking Indian Land, South Carolina." And but anytime she rolled through, because I remember like around that time he was doing the whole like 50s dad haircut thing and the mustache, and I was doing a similar thing because why wouldn't I? And and I remember it was like Christmas time, and his grandmother had rolled through to get some last minute Christmas groceries or whatever. I was like, "Hey, Miss Aranica, nice to see you." And she was like, "Oh, William, you look like Michael. That's so cute." I'm like, it was just this really cool like small world interaction.
Yeah.
But apparently, a lot of his family lives in Charlotte, and he stayed up in Ohio before moving to Chicago. And I think supposedly Jeremy, the guitarist and vocalist, apparently he also lives in Charlotte.
Oh wow.
Which is fucking crazy. So yeah, it's just a very, very small world, especially I think in the genres that we all are in, like the genres that we all have like grown up in. Like it's crazy how small that world is.
Oh, absolutely. And then just real quick, shout out, since we're talking about Jeremy DePoyster, shout out Dying Wish.
Right. Holy shit, dude.
So fucking good. His wife or maybe
I
girlfriend or fiance.
I think they're married now. Yeah.
Yeah. Wife fronts this band, and they're just brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Insane.
Before we go, just want to ask you, William, being such a Devil Wears Prada fan, were you so obviously there's two iterations of the band. There's, the band that had, for me, it's the drummers that I identify.
Like Daniel and all those
Dan,
guys.
So I would like to know, did you prefer Dan's style of drumming, or do you prefer Giuseppe's style of drumming?
There is a part of me where there's like two parts of it, right?
Right.
I love both so much for their own unique reasons.
Yeah.
Like I love Dan because like he was the drummer for the band.
Right.
We used to follow each other on Twitter, and I
Mhm.
used to interact with him all the time. So like there is that like almost like nostalgic aspect with it.
For sure.
But I also love Giuseppe because I fucking love Haste the Day. So like there's like this part of me that's like I can't. It's almost like trying to pick your favorite like kid. Like I can't, because they're both so like unique in their way.
Here's what we're
You're missing
gonna
out
do.
on Giuseppe's best band, though. Giuseppe's best band is Once Nothing.
Once Nothing is good.
Oh yeah, dude.
All right,
Also,
hold on.
like, also, I mean, if I could be completely wrong, but I think he did the drumming on Under Oath's Disambiguation, or that might have been somebody else.
That was the old drummer from Norma Jean.
Oh, never mind. You're right. Which I think that's their best record. I think Disambiguation is Under Oath's best record.
All right,
Mikey.
Mikey, we're
So
gonna do
good.
something that we've never done before, but
Nope.
because we've got William on, and because our last episode went 2 hours, I'm gonna send you a link. It's a YouTube link. Where do you want me to send it? And we're just gonna play it, and then we're gonna end the show.
Dude,
Where do
we
you
had
want
a
me
Receive and End the Sirens song.
Oh, we're gonna do that song?
I think we should, because
No, you know
truthfully-
what? You know what? Here's the deal. I'm calling an audible. This is the only audible I'll ever call. I promise. We'll do Receiving End of Sirens next week. That'll be my one pick, and then I'll do the retro pick, and you guys can do whatever you want. Where am I sending this link?
Send it to our email.
To what? What's our email?
BardownBreakdown@gmail.com.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send it now. Shut up.
You are literally the worst person ever.
Hey, listen.
What
listen
is
to me.
our email?
I don't fucking know, dude. Just shut up. That's gonna be the fucking shut up. Is what?
Shut up, Tom.
Hey John, what's your name again?
All right.
So what's our
I
email
just sent
again?
the link to you. Just play it. Just play it. We're gonna all experience this together.
Is it a Once Nothing song?
No. We're gonna experience this together. And I have commentary on it because I've watched this video 40 times and so much funny shit happens. And I'm gonna tell you my commentary on it.
I don't know, Tom. Maybe you spelled Bar Down Breakdown wrong.
I
This is like
did not.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 with Tom and just watching Warped Tour compilation videos.
All
No,
right, there we go.
I sent it to you. Yeah. there
Shut
it
up.
is. Yep.
You
Shut up. Load it up, baby. Let's go.
What we got?
I've literally watched this video like 60 times.
Oh, I literally called it.
I know you did. I'm sure you did. Thank you, by the way, Mikey, for indulging me.
I'm trying. It's
You got,
loading.
you got it. Don't worry about it. You got it.
Fingers crossed Rise Records doesn't tear our video down.
Now, if we talk enough about it, we'll be good.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Fuck. Yes.
Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I watched this video over and over again my senior year of high school, man.
Here we go.
Which date is it?
Love this film.
God, dude, Chris had the coolest custom guitar. One pickup, nope.
Okay, so I have commentary about this part real
This
quick.
is in Houston, Mikey.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
in
hot
my
as hell.
brain, right? So he's on top of here. You see that guy behind him? He's just looking at him like, I told him not to do this, but he's still doing it. And please don't play air guitar. You're playing air guitar. And then, wow.
Just drenched in sweat.
I know.
It's like the first song on the set.
And he just says, "Buzz!" Nobody knows what that means. That kid loves it.
You should have just played without the tune the entire time. I could then take those so much harder on stage.
Points to God because he loves God so much.
Dude, did you see the time? It was literally like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Gosh,
11 a.m. People just losing their minds, chugging Monster Energy drinks.
dude, Mike has like the type of stage presence that I aspire to have, which I'm actually like I'm gonna break down.
I love that little tappy part.
But I'm like really hopeful for this next project I'm working on to try to emulate a little bit of Mike's energy. Let's hope. But
Is Jeremy playing a fucking jazz master?
dude, he used to play a first act.
No, I love the first act.
Yeah,
Amos
like-
used to have a first act back in the day.
Their custom ones are crazy. But I remember when I was younger, I always thought like, oh no, dude, they're Walmart guitars. Then you see the custom ones, like, ah, never mind.
That girl's just clapping.
All right, listen to Jeremy play. He fucks up. Listen to him fuck up. Right here. And it's because Mike came over and screamed by him. He's like, dude, you scared me. Wow.
But look at the time. Look at the time. Oh,
You know,
you can't see it.
It's so early.
Going like shit.
I can't imagine being like hacked in with people that close in broad daylight anymore.
Dude, get ready for the best kick you've ever seen. Best fucking kick. Look at this kick. Look at this kick. Look at this kick. Kick! Enemies.
Someone just needs to put like a fucking football, like this football.
Dude, come on. Come on. I mean, like, I listened to that. I listened to that and was like, what the fuck am I doing? Why do I not listen to the Devil Wears Prada? And then,
There's so many bands, bro, that I've like missed out on, and then but that's the best part though, is that when there's a band that you just never bothered to look into, and then you finally see them later, and you're like, they're actually like insane. By that point, you have a whole backlog, and it's like Christmas. You can go through so much instead of having to wait for the next thing. Like, you have so much to go through. Like I recently just did that with Drug Church. I had never listened to Drug Church, and then I listened to the record they came out with like a couple months ago, and I was like, these guys are like the Cure and punk rock all together. This is so sick.
It's so
and
good.
I just went through everything they had.
It's so good. Drug Church is so good. And I mean, I'm not even gonna front. You know, the last record that Devil Wears Prada put out has some of my favorite Devil Wears Prada songs on it. I mean, I'm so bad with names of songs, but tracks 1 through 4 just slap, completely slap.
I think they said they're working on a new one for this year.
That's what I heard. I heard.
As soon as that's announced, I'm pre-ordering that.
Hell yeah! And they just announced that tour, that big tour with all the cool metalcore bands. Killswitch Engage, I Prevail, a bunch of other bands, Beartooth, and Devil Wears Prada are on it, man. They're coming through. Anytime it says Wantagh, that means they're going to Jones Beach. So I might partake in that in the summertime. But hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my buddy Mikey, who's above me, and I'm going to give the shout out to him because he hates deviating from the plan. And I just forced him to deviate from the plan. So I know that even though it seems like he's smiling and he's okay, his blood is actually boiling.
No.
You just type beat his type A brain.
Oh, dude.
I am. But see, the thing is, I'm so not type A in my day-to-day life. I'm not. But for the podcast having some
He's-
kind of
he is so-
For the
plan.
He is
podcast, for
so
the
pissed
fest.
right now.
the
He's
fest,
so
yeah.
angry. I mean,
But-
but how good was that though?
I appreciate a nice 11 a.m. mosh pit and just melt
right.
your
I-
face.
Like
I
you
never
just
understood
ate a bacon,
people
egg, and
who-
cheese, right? And you're just fucking
You're like,
thinking, yeah.
dude, the
How did people
sunscreen
go
is
to
going
work
in
for
my
late?
eye.
How do people? Wait, what did you say? How do people go to Warped
How do
Tour?
people
What?
show up to Warped Tour late? Like,
I don't
oh,
get that either.
I'm gonna
You're
show
gonna
up
miss
at
all the good
noon.
bands.
You just missed out on fucking The Devil Wears Prada at 11
Dog.
a.m.
And do you
Yeah.
remember? And do you remember when they used to not post the set times and you just had to go to the big
Yep.
blow up board, and that's the only
Yep.
way
And
to
you,
Dude.
figure
you'd
it
have
out?
to fucking text it to your buddies.
Yep. Text your
Whoever
buddies on
you
your
knew
on
the
your
time.
Nokia 3600 when you
That was
weren't playing Snake.
indestructible.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Or you did what I did, which was I put a little one of those little small little notepads
Notepads.
in my back pocket and just wrote
And then
down
you
who I
get
wanted to see.
disgusting with sweat and
Oh
fucking,
yeah. Oh, and forget it, man. I'll never forget. I wore shorts to one of the Warped Tours at Randall's Island, and literally I took my shorts off when I got home, and it was like my normal pasty white skin, and then just black,
Mhm.
black.
Ugh.
It was just a mud. It was just mud. It was,
Dude,
and
you know
then-
what felt so depressing for me? Like when I was where I was living in Concord, I'm like, if I walked through the neighborhood that I was at, it connected to the road that was right across from the amphitheater that Warped Tour was at every year.
right.
So if Warped Tour was still going on, I could have just walked over there when I
Right.
lived over there, which made me so depressed because I
Yeah.
was like, dude,
Yep.
like I really do hope that it does come back as some semblance of a tour, even
think-
if
yeah, I think
even
this is
even
the-
if it's not a hit every single
is-
state, like
This
some
is the
sort of
litmus
tour.
test. This is definitely the litmus test to see how it goes. I really truly do believe that if these three shows, in DC, Orlando, and Long Beach, if they do really well, which I think they're going to do,
Mhm.
I think you could
DC Long Beach is
see.
already sold out.
Yeah, and I think you could see. Maybe not 2026. Maybe they might do something like this again for 2026, but maybe 2027 you might see a whole tour. You might see it.
Yeah,
I
100%.
mean, the logistics of it are really, really tough. However, these days,
You know what they're doing though, right?
What are they doing?
They're following an EDM festival. So there's like
Oh,
in
is that
Orlando,
so?
yeah, like in Orlando, there's an EDM festival the weekend
Yeah, Electric
before.
Daisy Carnival.
Oh, is that what Electric
Yeah.
Daisy? Yeah.
So like the bones of all the stages and everything are already
be
going.
there.
Will be
Okay.
there.
Because it's all
That's
through
smart.
Insomniac,
Very,
which
very
is
smart.
the event planning site.
smart.
So they're already going to have all the gears and everything there. So they just
Awesome.
pop up and you're already
Yeah.
set up.
I mean,
So I could
like,
see that happening more in more
Right.
cities and like following other
That's
festivals.
smart.
Like, oh,
Very, very
where's
smart.
Coachella? Like, let's
Yeah.
go
Well,
the
it cut-
next weekend
cut-
or whatever.
it cuts down on overhead. Obviously, it makes it easier, makes it logistically easier. I would love to see Warped Tour come back in the capacity that it was. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be something else. But I mean, what I do love is this kind of music is branching out into a lot of really cool experiences. The Emos Not Dead cruise.
Oh my god, I want
such
to go
a-
on that so bad.
Such a cool idea, and then even some of the festivals that they're doing, like even though festivals for me these days, I don't think I can do festivals anymore. Except maybe the fest in Gainesville, because like at least you can just drink all the PBR that you can drink, and then like pass out on a bench, and a bunch of punks will just come and pick you up and be like, hey dude, you were passed
You
out, and
water.
you're just like, okay, and then you keep going. So but kudos to Kevin Lyman for trying to
Yeah.
do this. And then what I'll say to end this awesome episode is we like we say every week, we hope that you are into what we're doing. We know that we are a bunch of idiots that just are sitting around talking about music, but we like to do that. And if you like to hear that, tune in every Friday, tell your friends, tell your family. The more people that are listening to us, the better. The more people that are checking us out, the better. But the reality is, we did 250 episodes of the old Bar Down, and we struggled and scratched and clawed to get people to check it out. But I think the reality is with this, as much as we want you guys to dig this, I think we're going to do it whether we get 5 views or 5,000 views, because the reality is we get to hang out. I get to hang out with 2 of my best friends. And then I get to hang out with guys like William, who, you know, I've never met, who now I feel like is, you know, a homie that's part of my heart. And, you know, having his perspective is great because we know our perspectives. We're getting used to our perspectives, but to have someone on here who, you know, shares a different perspective, especially a musician, is really, really great. So, William, before we go, let us know where we can find you, your socials, what's coming. Please just, you know, give us a little bit.
Sure. So I mean, everybody can find me on Instagram at It's William Wallace. So it's literally ITS William Wallace. Every time I tell people that, they think it's like, oh, so it's just William Wallace.
Sure.
No, it's at It's William Wallace. I have a new project that's coming out. We've been working on it for about a year and a half,
Nice.
and very different from what I was doing before. So it's not pop rock, pop punk. It's much more in line of like my roots. So if you're a fan of like kind of like early mid 2000s post hardcore, like old Under Oath, Norma Jean type stuff, it's going to be along those lines. And we're
Sick.
Very
within the coming months, we're going to be debuting that project. So, and start playing shows.
Do we have a name or can we not say?
Yeah. We have a name. It's called the Johnstown Flood. So,
Oh,
yeah. So, we're very excited about it. We're almost done with a ton of songs. So, we're just in the logistics mode and practice mode. So,
Dude, before there was Atlanta, there was Douglasville.
100%, man. I mean, yeah, dude, the Chariot, one of our biggest inspirations, man.
Hell yeah.
I mean, this band right here was inspired by the Chariot. That's why they're called Never I.
Right.
So,
yeah.
what was there's another old local band in South Carolina that I used to play shows with when they would come down to Florida, and similar to like Johnstown Flood, they were named after like the Orangeburg Massacre.
Okay.
All right.
In South Carolina, and they used to rip like the Dimebag Darrell like Razorback Dean guitars, and they were just Southern post-hardcore, and they were so cool. And I think I have their EP laying around somewhere.
Love that.
Dude, I'm gonna have to look into them.
Shout out post-hardcore, man. But this is just a good enough time to say goodbye and goodnight. Bang for my wrestling fans. It's Kenny Omega. Anyways, you know, love you guys. Love doing this. Great tune picks. Sorry, I threw a curveball in there for you, but you know, with William saying he was a Prada fan, we just had to do it. And you got to see Mike Kranica do maybe the best kick in Warped Tour history. Just a great kick. And he's got green shoes on because he's just such a fashionista. And when we had him on the pod, he talked about building a table for like 20 minutes. He was like, yeah, man, I'm building this table. And I was like, what kind of table? And he was like, oh, sick, I get to talk about this table. So it was a good time. But this, as always, is a good time. So for Mikey and for Justin and for our homeboy, William Wallace, we bid you adieu. Thank you for listening. And we will see you next week. Same time, same place, same bat channel with 5 cool new tunes and then a retro song that's going to rock your face off, and it's going to make Mikey super happy. I guarantee you.
Well, because it's gonna have to be the receiving end of Sirens that you.
The receiving end of Sirens. That'll be my pick. That'll be my pick for.
He's gonna have another retro pick.
But my retro pick is gonna knock your socks off. You're gonna see it and you're gonna be like, "Fuck me," because I think only you know about them. I don't think maybe Justin does. I don't know. I don't think so, but I know you know them, and you're gonna love it.
All right.
I'm
excited. Well, excellent. William, thanks again, brother.
Yeah, brother.
I appreciate you coming and hanging, and I'm super excited to hear this project, man, and hopefully catch some shows in Charlotte, North Carolina to piss Tom off.
Mike, I'll actually send you because we finished up another demo over this weekend. I'll shoot you something over.
All right.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Hear it.
I would tell you to send it over to me, but apparently I don't know our email address, so you know. I'm a fucking asshole. But that's okay. I've always been the third wheel in this relationship, so it's fine.
You're the first wheel in mine, so.
Oh, you're so sweet. Guys, love you all. Thank you so much for letting me do this, and we'll catch you next Friday. It's going to be a blast, so tune in if you can.
All right, peace.
Later.